and pop you both and pop everyone on mute. And your only choice is to find that place of comfort. Okay, so anything that you need in order to support you. So any blankets that you need, not necessarily to make you warm, but to prop up elbows or in the niche of your neck or your lower back, your knees. And when you feel as if you're, oh, okay, I can practice in this position, bring your eyes to a gentle close. And then just revisit your comfort. So revisit each particular point of the body, and you can go from toe to head or from head to toe. So I'll invite you to go to head to toe, and we'll start just with that back of the neck and the base of the neck in between the two shoulders, the shoulders themselves, the middle of the back and the lower back, into the sit bones. You might need to take a little wiggle there or a bit of adjusting. The back of the thighs, the curve at the back of the knees, and the calves, leading down to the balls of the feet and the heels. And you might be thinking, oh, I'm not sure what to do with my hands or my arms. There's no particular way for them to be. Just mindfully place them in a position which isn't painful, where there is little to no discomfort, and that possibly they're not going to fall asleep either during the practice. And then let's just welcome you in. Welcome you to this practice today, this mindful, restful practice. A place to be where all of you is welcome. All of you is welcome. Every part of you is welcome to this space. And you don't have to achieve anything, strive for a certain way to be, fit in, fit out, stick out, stick in. We're all welcome. And let's just start by just listening to ourselves. Might want to take a sigh as you audibly let go of any tension. And it just might also be a nice thing to do, just to audibly let go of the exhale, and just to feel in that exhale, letting go of others' expectations, of the expectations that we place upon ourselves. And let's just spend this time just being with ourselves in this moment. And you can tune in or tune out of hearing my voice. Just know that throughout the entirety of the practice, my voice and my presence will be here to guide you. You can listen to everything, take every invitation that is offered, or you can just use the rhythmic sound and the vibrations of my voice as an anchor. An invitation just to be really present with this moment. And let's just listen to the body first of all. Just invite you to listen or feel about the body. So some things might already have changed. You might notice as you've begun to settle, they've become quite hot. Maybe the temperature, whether it be hot or cold, is just drawing your attention to certain areas of the body. Maybe you can hear the digestion as it gurgles and rattles. And maybe there's the need to swallow also. And that's okay. Doesn't matter how much noise you make swallowing. It's perfectly normal. These are just signs from the body that it's just finding its fluffy space. Its space to just be. And you might imagine the body against the surface that you're resting on. And with these signs from the body, you might see the surface as a fluffy cloud that just molds around the body. And you can just take the invitation of listening to the sounds and the little nuances that the body's making. Maybe the room around you is also settling in this moment. Maybe you can hear a bookshelf or a sideboard as it creaks. Or maybe some pipes. Maybe there's a light on and you can just hear some static from the electricity. Again, just tuning into what's happening in this moment inside the body and outside the body. And sometimes when we listen for sounds outside, it can be a little easier to take the invitation to find ourselves. And maybe by this point of the mindful practice of staying here in this moment, certain things have started to distract us. Maybe we've started thinking about our to-do list or what we could do list. And if that's the case, or if a narrative from a sound has started to lull us down its path, let's just bring ourselves back. Let's just bring ourselves back to the anchor of my voice, or a narrative such as the breath. Not to judge the breath or to be intimidated by it or think it's less than, but just by the air or the inhale. And we can just feel that as it approaches the body by feeling it at the base of the nostrils or the opening of the lips. Both may be inviting you to feel the temperature, so the coolness of the air, slight rise of the shoulders, and then just the settling and warmth as the air leaves the nostrils or the lips. And we don't need to march to the beat of anyone else's drum. So we don't need to count the breath or judge the length or depth of the breath. Let's just be aware of that coolness and then a warmth. So a coolness of the inhale. Don't even need to think of it as an inhale. You can just think of it maybe as two sides of a coin. Maybe you can see the inhale as heads and the exhale as tails. And if it helps your focus and to keep you in this moment, you can just softly say that internally to yourself. Heads and tails. Heads, tails. And our breaths, like all different coins, come in all different lengths and depths. And they have all different edges. So the transition between inhale and exhale, the width of the coins are all different. And then I just invite you, just with this lulling of heads, tails, just to bring just some awareness to the top of the head. And then to the back of the head and to the ears, the left ear and the right ear, the left earlobe and the right earlobe. Then onto the face and the left eye and the right eye. That slight space between the eyes. And the left nostril and the right nostril. The whole of the nose, the left cheek and the right cheek. The top lip and the bottom lip. The space between the lips. The front of the neck. The nodule at the bottom of the neck. Going down to the center of the collarbone. And the left collarbone, the right collarbone. The left shoulder, right shoulder. Left elbow, right elbow. The left wrist, the right wrist. The whole of the left hand and the whole of the right hand. Coming back up through the left arm and the right arm to the space at the center of the collarbones. Down into the center of the chest. The center of the left ribs and the right ribs. And all those spaces in between. Coming down the midline to the navel. And then coming down into the hips. The left hip and right hip. The left thigh and right thigh. Left knee right knee, left calf, right calf, left ankle, right ankle, and the ball of each foot, both the left and right. And in the center of both the left foot and the right foot, so both feet at the same time, just invite you just to see if you can feel this bubbling spring in the center of the foot, ball of the feet, just connecting to the floor, maybe to the carpet and the floorboards, all in turn held by the earth. Just earthing ourselves down. And just coming back to that heads and tails, the inhale and exhale. So you can think of it as an opposite direction. One northerly wind, one a south wind, or the opposites of colour. This is your practice and your body, and it's just enough to be here. Just enough to be here now in this practice. So you can think of it as an opposite of any kind. And just within this opposite, you can just begin to explore. So if you might like to think of it as night and day, comfort and discomfort. You come into your presence of your nostrils, both left and right. Even if they're both clear, there's usually one that's clearer. So maybe you could think of it as any opposite that you choose. And that there's expansion and contraction at the top and the bottom of the breath. In that transition, maybe just exploring it means that you just naturally just sigh or swallow. And then just the next time you inhale, just coming back into the body and just feeling into the sensations within the body and the fact that you haven't moved anywhere. Everything's just been quietly ticking along, taking care of itself. And you could just come back into the room and just open up that sense of hearing from being lulled by the sense of opposites. Just open up that hearing to hearing anything within the room. And then just maybe being aware of the fact that you're reclining or sitting in the seat, and the whole of you is there, and each point of view is still in connection with the surface, really coming back to the body as the practice reaches its conclusion and its end point. So being aware of the heels and the calves and the back of the thighs and the lower back, the mid back, upper back and shoulders, the elbows and the back of the hands, base of the neck and the back of the head, and lastly the top of the head. And then just bringing some movement into the mouth, feeling and maybe investigating the roof of the mouth, the tip of the tongue touching the gums, and then moving the lips, maybe moistening the lips and taking a swallow. And then choosing, if you haven't already, to open the eyes and reorientate yourself back to all the colors and all those familiar noises and nuances of the room. This practice coming to its natural conclusion.